Alright guys, much anticipated, the 99 Speedmart IPO is upon us. Now on your screen, you can see these are the IPO details, $1.65 per share, market cap almost 14 billion ringgit with earnings of 400 million based on 2023. You get nearly a PE of 35. Now on the surface, it looks quite expensive, but we'll give our more detailed thoughts throughout the video. On your right, as usual, these are the important dates to take note of if you want to apply for the IPO. So before we go on, Jonathan, share with us about how you can take advantage of this IPO with Moomoo.
Yes. Okay. So first off, if you are not a Moomoo user, you can actually subscribe the IPO using their platform, and we actually show you the step-by-step on how do you actually apply an IPO using their app. You can click the link, will be here or here, the step-by-step. And 99 Speedmart is obviously available, so you can subscribe before the deadline. And on the right over here, I'm gonna read out some of the rewards that you can actually get if you sign up or you're a first-time user of Moomoo. So the account opening benefits are number one, you can get a zero commission for the US and Malaysian stocks within 180 days or 6 months. Lifetime zero commission for fractional shares, free 60 level US stock quotes and 30 level and 3 level Malaysian stock quotes. And let's say if you deposit 1,000 ringgit into Moomoo, right, and you hold it for 60 days, you can actually get a few rewards. So number one is 140 ringgit reward, 50 cash coupon, 40 ringgit cash coupon only if the customer actually use our referral link. So if you want the extra dollar, make sure to click our link in the description or comments. And also 25 ringgit times 2 stock cash coupon. Now that is just for 1,000 ringgit. If you deposit more than 10,000 ringgit and you hold it for 60 days, you can actually get 550 ringgit of reward, 100 ringgit times 2 cash coupon, 50 ringgit times 4 stock cash coupon, and 0.3 shares of NVIDIA stocks. Now, the last one is if you deposit 30,000 ringgit or more and make 3 buy transactions and hold it for 60 days, you can get 1 NVIDIA for free. So those are the few rewards that you can get for first-time Moomoo users. So make sure to click our link to get all of these rewards. And also, if you have any spare cash, any idle cash that you're not using, you can actually get up to 3.5% return.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's just like an extra return for you if you're not using that money anyways. And you can just store it inside your Moomoo account and you can just reap the returns. And that's about it for Moomoo. And let's get into the business of 99.
Okay, I think the business is quite straightforward, right? It's a mini mart.
Yes.
Right? Many mini marts around Malaysia.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you're watching this, or at least I think 80% of you guys who are watching this probably buy something from 99 every single week.
Oh yeah. Before that, I also didn't notice that they actually have a tagline over here. Dekat lagi murah. Near and safe, something like that. Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting tagline.
Yeah, so here are some of the history, right? In the 90s, you only had 8. And then before you know it, it's a lot bigger.
Yeah. And you can,
added outlets, sorry.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if you see the trajectory, right, if from the 90s, they only have 8. It took 18 years for them to actually grow to 100 outlets, from 8 to 100. Mm-hmm. And then it took them only 9 years to grow from 10x, basically 10x. You can see that the gap year is actually reducing. So their speed is actually very fast once they find out what works.
Indeed. Yeah. So this is some interesting history. So here is the geographical footprint.
Yeah.
A lot in, of course, the west side of West Malaysia.
Yes, exactly. And and you can see that they also have like these DC distribution centers, and they are actually 100 km away from their outlets. So pretty strategic already. And that's why, and they have a lot of lorries. I mean, pretty sure you came across some of these 99.
But Pahang is interesting, right? There's only one.
Yeah. So
and there's none in Sarawak, Kelantan, and Terengganu.
Yeah, so that is where they are trying to get footprint into those areas.
Yeah, so here are some of the region. I think you guys can just pause and look at it, but I mean, no surprise. Central is the number one,
Yes.
followed by Southern, so I'm guessing Johor.
Yeah.
And then Northern,
Yeah.
and then East Coast.
Yes.
So it's the revenue per outlet. Also, no surprise, Central is number one. But interestingly, East Malaysia and Southern are quite neck and neck. So I think that's quite exciting as far as expansion goes, because there's only 5 outlets in Sarawak or less, or around there.
Yeah.
Northern, which is interesting also, is the lowest. But yeah.
Yeah.
These are some of the numbers. Share with us. I think SSSG right down there is same store sales growth, right?
Yes, exactly. To explain to you very simply, it's just their sales at that particular outlet on that year, the growth, and then compared to the past year. So this is basically just showing you the number of sales transaction per outlet per day. It's actually a lot. It's like 400. Odd 400, and then the average value per sales per outlet is around 23. It's very
so
small.
One thing very interesting that I also learned from 7-Eleven is as they expand the revenue or the value of each sales transacted, they call it the ticket size, whatever word you want to use, actually drops, because as you expand out into countries or areas like Kelantan and Terengganu, spending power is a lot less. So yeah, it will drop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, so this is the revenue by category. 70+% of them still actually purchase F&B from their place. Personal and baby care is only 12%. Yeah, household products, 7%. And you can notice, right, actually the margins for food and beverage is about 9%. Personal is 10%, household is 11%. So as you go down this category, it's actually getting more, the margin is higher and higher. Okay, so a few fun facts. I'm not sure how they actually managed to have such little case in terms of robbery and theft. So this one is definitely the management's effort that managed to mitigate all of this.
Imagine they have thousands, right? Or 2,600.
Yeah, 2,000.
And then there's only 14 incidences of, crime.
Per year. Yeah, exactly. So they kept that very well. And 4% of their total staff are actually foreign workers, but they are working in the distribution center instead of the outlet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, and basically they are earning also above minimum wage. And they serve 1.1 customers per day.
Crazy.
In 2023. They have about 3,300 SKUs. So this one is a very unique number of SKUs that they have inside their outlet, because I believe other outlets like maybe Jaya Grocer or maybe even Village Grocer, they have definitely bigger SKUs. So, but later we shall see how is their inventory turnover.
So it shows that alcohol and tobacco contribute about 11% of sales. But then when we look at the breakdown, I don't know how they classify this. Under personal products, or I guess F&B for alcohol, and then maybe tobacco for others.
Yeah,
maybe that's
for
how
others.
So
but it's interesting that they put out here 11%. They both of these contribute 11%.
That's right. Okay.
But I don't see them placing in front of the.
Yeah, you have to go behind. But when alcohol is involved, people will travel all the way behind just to get the alcohol for sure.
Yeah, and
usually they are so. If you realize 99 speedmarts, they are quite tight also sometimes. So they probably hide it at the corner. I think it's the same for KK Mart as well. They usually hide it where it's not very visible. But then when you look at the corner, usually there's like an ice cream area, and then behind the ice cream area that's the alcohol.
Okay. I never paid attention to that. I was finding, did they really have alcohol? Yeah. So, okay. And then fun fact is that almost all of their outlets are rented. They don't own the outlets, and they rent it for 2 to 3 years with the option to renew. Cool. And 75% of the space are used for retail operation. I mean, once you go inside, right, demand, basically you see all the stuff is over there, and the balance is inventory. So this I think is behind the scenes that we cannot see. Now, what's interesting about this is that I think because what happened to Cape EMS Berhad, that the underwriters now are becoming more careful on people, on the IPO promoters who's going to pledge their shares. So they actually specifically mentioned that you cannot do that. Yeah. And they are saying that, even though 99 Speedmart is a very steady business, still you cannot pledge your shares and you cannot do anything with your shares. So they have to follow.
I think it's quite an extreme measure, which means not wrong, but I think it's also about proportion, right? Remind me again for KVMS, how much was pledged out of the
100%?
Yeah, that exactly. So, I mean, it's going to IPO at 14 billion, and then the owner is going to give up 20-25%. right?
Actually, 17% in total.
Okay, let's say it's 20%, right? So that means he's going to give up about 2.8 billion.
2 billion, about 2 billion. Yeah.
Okay, about 2 billion. So he has 12 billion. What's wrong if he pledges like, I don't know, 20 million ringgit?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit restrictive. But is this only for a period of time? I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. So they state over here that the 6 months of moratorium and then all those stuff. Yeah. But KPMS one is since the start already, they can pledge. So that's the interesting part.
I think it's about pledging limits.
Yeah. Okay, team, multiple people over here. You can see they're all family related.
Yeah, of course, the most important one is Mr. Lee Tianhua, right?
Yes.
He's the guy who people know him as the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Right? He's an OKU, but he's probably the richest OKU in Malaysia.
Yeah, and fun fact is that he started out his first mini mart, Pasar Raya Hiap Ho, at 26 years old. So he's have this entrepreneurship spirit with him already. But the question is that I don't know who influenced him. Could be his dad, could be his mom, but it's very secretive. He didn't really share much. Don't know. Maybe one day we can hopefully do a podcast with him in the future. But yeah, then his wife is over here working as a purchase exec since 1997. His sister, his son also is working inside the company.
Yeah, cousin.
And then the cousin also is over there. So it's basically like family is there. Okay, so the main thing is that is Mr. Lee like these three individuals over here? So Price, Jim Sinegal, and also Sam Alton. Because these three values are actually, they have a very core values that almost all entrepreneurs like to learn from them. And these are the few values. They pay themselves less. They pay them.
For context, the first three guys, what are they known for?
Okay, so Price is known for their Fat Mart. So it's basically all discounting stores, retail stores, and they believe in actually giving their customer the utmost satisfaction. That is their motto. And
Simple
also,
idea, right?
That's number one. Number two is they have to make sure to treat their employees well. Because if their employees are happy, they're getting paid well, they're getting fed well, they will actually treat their customers well as well. So actually this is the main two things. And then more onto that in these few values over here. So
Walmart?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Walmart?
Yeah, this one is Costco. Jim Sinegal is Sinegal. Then Walmart is Sam Alton. Yeah, they're all in the retail space, which is quite similar to 99 Speedmart. So the few values over here is that they pay themselves very less. Their only focus is just to grow their business as fast as possible. And they pay their employees more, give them more benefits. And I'm not sure whether does Mr. Lee do this often or not, whether he visits every outlet every year. I think he did that in the past, probably. Now I'm not too sure.
Well, the thing is, he can't surprise people like they can, because like the other three, they can technically put on a mask and go in, and people may not notice. But of course, if he comes in with a wheelchair, like everyone knows, right?
Yeah, or maybe he sends his sons or don't know whoever there every year. Yeah, could be. And then the fourth thing is customer satisfaction. And then this one is also very key, is they have to put their customers and employees priority more than shareholders. So when shareholders ask them to grow fast or pay dividends, they don't do it because they feel that it's not really best use of their resources. So their resources are best used in just giving savings to their customers and paying their employees more. And the last one is always hungry. Is basically they want to always expand as fast as possible, and also they want to learn the best strategy so far. I think 99 Speedmart employed almost all of these value. If he don't, I don't think he can grow from 8 stores to 2,600 stores. In the span of 30 years. Pretty sure he has some of these values, but
I know we'll get most of his staff are locals, right?
Yeah, exactly. Most of them are locals. Okay, another fun fact is that he is selling some of his shares. So you can see that after IPO,
I want to be his wife.
2 billion, and also his wife 82 million, just like that. And most of his key senior management are almost millionaires. They are around like 600,000 to 800,000 range. So they're getting some shares, and also they're getting paid quite well. So I think that kind of like fits with one of the values from Costco, Walmart, they also like pay their managers and key senior managers very well, and they also give them like a like a sales performance, like it's tied up with the outlet sales. So if they perform well, then they get more. Okay, so this is the remuneration. Whether is this fair or not, I think it's okay.
I mean that's about slightly above 100,000 ringgit
a month.
And we know people in companies that are paid 1 million a month.
Yeah,
and they probably don't deserve it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I think this one is a well-deserved remuneration. So far the values all are hitting already. Okay, this also obviously is a big team. A lot of them are outlets employees, outlet managers, and whatnot. Okay, industries. So there's 4 categories: hypermart, supermarket, mini market, and also convenience store. So how they categorize this by IMR is based on the size. So if you have more than 25,000, it is considered hypermarket. So where 99 Speedmart is at is over here. They are at the mini market segment, your neighborhood place. And yeah, I'm not going to explain every single one, but you can just look at some of the key players that 99 Speedmart is competing with. Pasar Economy, EconSave, Giant Mini, My News, Super Value, and yeah, that's about it. And if you look at the competition, definitely they are way ahead. I mean, just look at the number of outlets. They have 2,651 as compared to others are like, just very small only. And interesting thing is that Minimart is a industry that is growing very fast and growing a lot also. So you can see that it's almost like a 5% to even like double digits, 10% growth if you compare with the convenience store, supermarket, and hypermarket. I think it's because of their size. Size small, then you can expand even faster. So this is their projected CAGR in the future for 2023. Yeah, it's a 10%. But it could be biased.
I think it will drop over time. That's what I always believe.
Yeah, there will be a saturation point where you cannot expand too much really. Okay, so this is just now I was referring to their inventory turnover. So you can see that initially we thought that 99 Speedmart has the best inventory turnover. But if you look at other companies like Lotus Store, even TFP retail, your Village Grocer, and then some of them like even some giant grocers also.
Mydin is long.
Yeah, like Mydin, this I don't know what they're doing, but
but I guess some goods turnover can be longer because maybe they are not fresh. So it could be, what's the word? Non-perishable goods, they call it.
Yeah.
So I guess if you have a higher percentage of that, then you can afford to have a slightly higher inventory turnover.
Yeah. And I think also they focus more on the necessity of what the household needs are. So yeah, the customer don't need to think twice. They just go there.
But it's still one of the lowest, right? 99 Speedmart.
Yes. Okay, numbers going to go through very fast. Obviously, they are growing like mad. Based on the number of outlets that they
10
open.
billion soon.
But the thing is that the growth for their product sales, right, is not growing as fast as the number of outlets. Like as you mentioned, when they start to grow bigger, obviously sales growth will start to like slow down a bit, not grow as fast as the number of outlets. And if you compare with Costco, actually Costco has been growing at almost like double digit, 9%, 70%, 15%. But if you look at 99 is only like 3%.
Yeah, because the US is such a big place, right? There's so much. The US is like 20 or 30 Malaysias.
Yeah, it could be because of that also. And also their purchasing power is also much bigger than us. But yeah, maybe it could be also like hopefully a room for improvement when Malaysia start to become more developed. And another interesting segment, which is their other income. So other income's growth is actually higher than their product sales. You notice like this one is like 8%, 40%. Just now it was like 3 and 10. So this shows actually their shelf space is very valuable. Not only shelf space, but their distributors.
Promotions and all that.
Yeah, right? For promotions, advertising promotional fees, distribution center fees. Some of the suppliers want to just put their products in their distribution center. And then some of the incentives also that they get because their turnover is so fast that their suppliers are definitely very happy when they see turnovers very fast. So this one is growing very fast, and I believe that this other income will continue to be very positive in the future. Margins, 9%, dropping slightly. Profit margins also.
Yeah.
But if you compare with Costco and even Walmart, right? Their net margins are actually like down to 2%.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
I
their
guess
is, like,
it's probably more competitive there. And of course, with Costco, they have the unique subscription model, right?
Yeah.
They actually charge a lot of things at cost. So, there's the classic example of their hot dogs never change the price for many decades, right? It's always
36,
$1.
36 years or 40 years.
Yeah, it was like $1,
$1,
right? Or
yeah.
150, I cannot remember. So, the way they make money is that, hey, if you want to get access to this cheap stuff, you must pay
the membership.
Membership every month. So
Yeah.
people just buy it, and I can't recall how much it is. Maybe it's 10, 15 US dollars every month. It's too small for people to bother to cancel the subscription. And so it adds up, right? When you get millions of people that have the Costco membership, you times 10, you get a number right there.
Yeah, that's smart also. I think also So Price got mentioned that last time there's a regulatory where you cannot actually charge very cheap. If you charge very cheap, right, they will actually start to, like, you're a traitor like that. It's like a law like that. So how they actually get over the sell it very cheap is the membership. Yeah, so they actually go past the regulation and they are pretty smart. And then after that, they also did fight back. And then in the end, they took out the regulation, the law, because it's just very nonsense.
Yeah, it's very crazy. Like, because they can charge so cheap, and therefore they can get the volume. And because then they take this and then they go to like let's say they don't buy wine, right? They will go to some place in southern France or Italy and they say, I'm going to buy your entire supply of vineyards for the next 20 years, but give me a 50% discount.
Yeah.
So the Italian, I don't know what they call it, wine farmer or the winemaker.
Yeah. They're like,
man. It's like,
just
take up front.
That's their power that they have. They can buy a lot in bulk. Exactly. They just have the cash reserve. Okay, this company is a net cash, pretty good also, very well run. And they're not going to use their cash to settle the debt, so they're going to use from their IPO proceeds, which is about 45 million, to settle most of their long-term debt. Cash flow, obviously this is a mini mart. The cash, your receivables is only like 1 day only. So there's a lot of cash on hand, and you can see that this is Mr. Lee's pocket so far in 2021 to 2023. Basically, he made about like 970 million over the past 3 years just from collecting dividends. So that's, pretty good. FCS, based on returns, you can see their ROIC is 35% and is still growing, which is very, very impressive. And probably I think the numbers will stay like that, or maybe even more if, let's say, they charge more in terms of their shelf space. Okay, efficiency, whether this is good or not. Cash conversion cycle is only 9 days, 12. On average, it's just 11 days. Looks good. If you just look at the numbers.
There's a balance, right? Because if the trade payables go up days, that's a good thing. And then if the inventory goes up, that is on paper a bad thing, but then they kind of balance each other out.
Yeah, but if you compare between, again, Costco, it's not as efficient as Costco. Costco one is even faster. They only take 2 days to actually convert the entire process from inventory to sales. Whereas for Walmart, they are kind of like neck to neck, pretty much okay lah. And the reason why they can be more efficient for Costco is because they have a very low inventory. Their bulk purchases actually help them to turn stuff very quickly. And it's also the same for Walmart, where they keep it less than 45 days. Whereas for this one, it's like now 49, it is growing.
Got it.
So probably 99 Speedmart need to improve on that. Okay, Moat, growth and risk. 2 Moat that I see, network effect and also cost advantage. Network effect is basically, it's B40 and M47. They'll just go there and just shop whatever things that they need. And also with the volume that they have, obviously the suppliers would also want to get a piece of the pie. And hence they'll pay them some product display fee and all these incentives. And cost advantage is basically they don't mark up a lot. They don't say how much they mark up. Costco, I know, it's like 10 to 13%. But 99 Speedmart, we don't know. Okay, growth. Obviously, they are going to be building more new outlets per year. So they're going to be building about 3,000 by end of 2025 and 3,400 by 2027. So I think the analysts usually they exclude the inventory. Usually they just say the capex per outlet is about 300,000, but if you include inventory, it's actually 650,000 with a payback period of within 3 years. And just now you mentioned Northeast and East Malaysia are not doing that well, so that's where they're trying to expand and get their footprint on. More data, more distribution centers. They're going to be spending about 70 million per DC. And the last one over here is very interesting. I think that they actually started in 2023. It is 99 bulk sales. So this is basically your Costco actually. Yeah, they are doing more warehouse sales, and they actually set a minimum purchase order of you need to buy 500 ringgit in order to do these 99 bulk sales. And you can actually buy this from their online website. And so far for 2023, they make about 6.4 thousand transactions with 7.5 million in sales. I think this number will definitely grow a lot in the future. Okay, so yeah, just I mentioned the few key areas. You can just pause and just watch over here. Now, a few risks. Number one is the successor's motivation. His son, I think he's only 23 or 24 years old, very young. But you can see that his LinkedIn post, he's been posting quite decent stuff.
I think before we talk about the successor's motivation, I want to talk about the existing motivation also, right? I think, of course, it's his baby and he'll definitely want to do. But one thing I want to highlight, and it's probably one thing that does not make me as excited about this IPO, is the fact, ironically, that they're going for IPO. Because it's one of the few companies that we know of, maybe in the past 10 years of being in the market, right? I think this is might be the first actually, maybe the second. But it's the owner, Mr. Lee, owns 100% of the company, right, alongside the wife, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, they have very little reason to go for IPO. Very, very little. They do not need the money for expansion. They would still expand the way they're expanding, whether or not they IPO. And they are only giving up, 17% of their stake, which is 2 billion. Even if they get the money, like, they can't spend it that quickly. Maybe a bit faster, but again, they'll just get to the number of stores they want to get to regardless. And so what all this tells me is that it sounds like it's a final payday, right? Where, hey, I've done a good job for myself and of course for the people of Malaysia, because honestly, this is what 99 Speedmart is doing, is national service. And this IPO, I see it as a way to just sort of reward Mr. Lee and his team and his wife, and then maybe give the son an opportunity to grow into a public CEO. But really, from an investor's point of view,
I think another thing that I think why they want to go IPO is so that they can attract more someone who is as driven as him. Hopefully, with this listing, right? I'm not to say that his son won't take over, but if let's say there's somebody who is as competent as him that saw this opportunity, right? Then he say, okay, maybe I can take over his baton and run the company. I think that is his way of like building a legacy, so that he can keep 99 Speedmart.
I did not hear much about foreign expansion. I mean, like, for example, Costco, they you guys can Google this online.
South Korea.
You go China, right?
Yeah.
The line is like mad just for China, and I did not hear much of that, which is again why I'm very apprehensive about this IPO. But regardless, I mean, they've done a fantastic job. So, but I think that is for me one of the biggest risks. But okay, the next one is rental rates.
Yeah, this is a mini risk. But basically, they did say that they closed down some of the stores because some of the rental rates are just too unfavorable for them. The third one is also the same, land acquisition by authorities, because they're renting. They don't own the outlets. And last one, you can say it's not really a real risk, but then who knows, maybe Temu, Taobao or Shopee start to like sell necessity stuff at cheap, and then you can just buy it online. That could be a potential risk that we see as well. Okay, so a few takeaways over here. Obviously, we are very interested in Mr. Lee's upbringing, because in the prospectus, he didn't share much. He just shared that he started at this age, then he grew from 8 outlets to 2,000. That's about it. He didn't talk much about what stuff did he even do before that. So all his life is actually just about mini market. Yeah. So this one is definitely a question mark, and we want to know more. So if you are 99 Speedmart team, maybe you can leave down a comment. And Second one is obviously why I want to raise 660 million when they already have a free cash flow of 801 million and also dividends, which is paid out during that year.
Yeah,
390.
that's exactly my point, right? Like
Yeah.
666, the free cash flow almost matches it already.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Technically they don't need to go IPO and raise money.
Yeah,
but,
because all that 581 million goes to him and the wife, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It could be, but then this one is just one of the many question marks that we have on why you want to go IPO. And third one is obviously premium valuation. Probably also is because private investors, maybe they are not really willing to buy at a very high price at a 14 billion market cap. So IPO is the last straw for them to actually get a very, very premium valuation. And also because of scarcity premium. There's not many of
It's going to be
these
like another
large
Mr. DIY like that.
Yeah, exactly. And the last one is assuming if they pay 100% free cash flow for dividends, is actually only a 4.2% yield if you buy this company at a market cap of 13.86 billion. Not too big, not too a lot, not so attractive as well, 4% yield only. You are begging more on their growth So I think that's where the meat is at. But whether it's a big meat or is it a thin meat, I think we see it as a very thin meat. Okay, so probably this is just maybe a small sharing for 99 Speedmart on the strategies. Then we move forward. Probably I think they do these strategies already. So number one is intelligent of loss of sales. So I think they have been doing quite good at their SKUs according to a conversation with our research team. So there's a difference between stocking 1,000 items and also 10,000 items. So obviously the costs that you manage, the logistic, the supplier and all those stuff, it's actually the cost savings will be actually more than you selling more. So there's a phase of this intelligence of loss of sales. So not necessarily that if you want to sell more, you have to like stock up more. So that's not the case. You can actually do it in reverse where you actually save costs more by stocking less. And the second one is basically the Costco model, membership card. I'm not sure whether they want to do that or not, but so far not yet.
I think if they do that, everyone else will be very angry.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. And then the last one is having customers to drive to their distribution center. So this one is maybe some people actually does that, but then they offer a free delivery service for their customer actually, that they are delivering it. So if they have customers to actually drive, because it's so cheap, right? People are willing to drive all their way just to buy their stuff. If they can do that, right, I think they can save quite a number of costs in terms of logistics. They don't need to buy so much of lorries also to expand. But yeah, so maybe these are the three key strategies that we can share for 99 Speedmart.
There's going to be a jam and
in
front of that center.
Okay, so make sure to check out Moomoo if you're interested in 99 Speedmart. You can subscribe using the app, and just now I mentioned the step-by-step. You can click on the link at the bottom side, and you can get these rewards when you actually sign up for the first time. Okay, so this is FIRL Pro's performance, 59%. If you are interested to see how we actually do our write-up, we have a free sample later on, but just want to share a little bit about FIRL Pro is where we actually curate some ideas that we have from the market that we think that's interesting. Interesting catalysts, and we write it very, very short reports only. It only takes you less than 15 minutes, sometimes 10, sometimes 8 minutes, just a cup of coffee, and you can learn more about the company's future, business, management, and also the risk of it.
And we have a community, so like what we share in 99 Speedmart, a lot of it was already shared in our community weeks ago.
Yeah, they get first-hand information.
Yeah, so we have management notes where when we visit management, right, we will actually take all these special notes that you cannot find, or information that you cannot find in public articles or their annual report or quarterly report. These are special, unique insights. And all this is to, again, help you speed up your research to find companies that are interesting. And also, sometimes you are afraid of losing money and you need some sort of security and some sort of trust. That's where FIRL Pro comes in. As we said earlier on, we have the free sample. Just check it out. We have, I believe, a couple of reports there for you to look at. And with that, guys, thanks for staying all the way until the end. This is a long one, but it's a big company, right? Hope you get the IPO if you're applying, and we'll see you in the next IPO watch.